Political analysts Neil Sinapa on the Democratic side and Kathy Abernathy on the Republican side are joining us here this morning to talk about that speech and the reaction that's coming in this morning.
All right, good morning to you both. Yes, thank you for coming in. Kathy, I want to begin with you. President Trump starting this speech by just simply saying America is back. And of course, the Republicans cheering there and the Democrats were sitting there. I want to focus this morning on tariffs because we're already getting word from the White House very early this morning that we could actually hear more about tariffs as the day progresses. So we'll start with that. Last night, the president in his speech admitting that America is going to kind of feel the impact of these tariffs. He even said that there would be a little disturbance. He even said we'd be okay with that. Let's look at Wall Street this morning because it's been kind of a tumultuous week on Wall Street already. Stocks opening just 4 minutes ago. And right now we're seeing stocks just up 35 points, but even starting out this morning in the red. So kind of unchanged from where we ended yesterday. But we do know that over the last several days, all of the gains made, since the election have been erased. So after hearing this speech from President Trump last night, seeing these tariffs that have already been in effect, a lot of people are asking, is the president's plan for the economy the right path that we need to be on?
Well, first of all, he's reducing the costs on the American taxpayer. That's the best thing because the more money in the taxpayers' hands that they can spend on the things they want to spend it on instead of mailing it to the government. By the way, for workers who are sitting home getting paid, which we're changing that. It's about, can we create an economy that grows? And we've had stagnant times for the last 4 years and a couple more because of COVID. But now we're out of all that, and he's got a very good plan. And this tariffs business, let's remember, these countries have put it on us and our products. They have made it so that they pay their workers peanuts. We pay our workers good money. And we can't sell products made in America because everything is, go through your house, every single thing is made in China. So Trump's trying to equal the ball field there. And I think
he did say last night that, starting on April 2nd, there will be a reciprocal tariff. So whatever the tariff is on another country, we will reciprocate that. Right. Do you agree with the president that there's going to be a little disturbance and that we're still going to see kind of a little bit of a rough road as we go through the next, little bit? I mean, even the CEO of Target yesterday saying that these tariffs are going to increase the price of produce in the next couple of days.
Right. Well, I'm not a person that can foresee the future on the economy. I just have confidence that everything that he's doing, which is making us safer, getting the jobs, you've seen the headlines of the companies that are bringing in multi-million-dollar, production lines back into America. That's going to change everything too. So I'm looking forward to it. Now, the dour group sitting on the other side of the aisle last night, my goodness, I don't know anything he could have said that would have made them not sit there and be so negative. I don't think that's good for the Democrat Party to appear that way because then they're saying we don't want federal workers that sit home fired and don't do work. We don't want to have a border that stops drugs and criminals from coming across. So I don't think they gave a very good message, but Trump's was, I thought, made everybody feel good.
Neil, so President Trump reminded voters and Democrats last night that he won the popular vote. How do Democrats respond to the changes that he's making?
How do they respond? I think that's something that the Democratic Party is searching for right now. I think there's two different strategies. I think one is actually leaning in to how these tariffs are going to hurt folks. Donald Trump ran on lowering costs for Americans, and his first action that he's putting into motion with these tariffs are going to increase prices. They are. Every economist will tell you they're going to increase prices. They're going to increase grocery prices, and American people are really going to feel that. So I think what Donald Trump talked about yesterday was a list of things that he saw as accomplishments, but a lot of them are really to be seen. I think when he actually does give his first official State of the Union rather than, address to Congress and whatever this was, it was like a victory lap and a lot of jeering and snarling at the Democrats from Trump and Republicans. But the reality is that these tariffs are going to increase prices for folks. And they're going to remember when the midterms come. They're going to remember in 2028 that You know, his bet is that manufacturing comes back enough into the United States to where it evens out and it benefits the middle class and the working class, but it's not the reality of the situation. A lot of the manufacturing, a lot of the things that are going to have tariffs on them, we don't produce in the United States, or just can't produce in the United States anymore. And it would take a long time in order for us to be able to do that. And so I think really, he bet big on the things he did, and he talked a big game on the things of, oh, I renamed this, that, and I did this, and I made all of these symbolic gestures to the right and to my base, and pat me on the back for it. That's what we saw from Trump yesterday. Will he actually be effective, and will he be successful in any of the things he's talking about? That's to be seen.
Kathy, Neil brings up what a lot of people have already noticed, was the speech last night. You didn't necessarily see the president offering anything new. It was kind of going through a recap of all of the things that he's already accomplished. And, again, this was not a State of the Union address. This is a State of the Union style address. But did you see anything in that speech that really caught your ear? Something that you thought was really, really important for the president to hammer in on?
Okay, he's been in 5 weeks, 6 weeks, so I'm not sure when you say that he didn't offer anything new, just what he's done. He's done quite a bit, but it hasn't kicked in completely, of course. So I don't think anybody was judging last night on how the economy in the last 4 weeks has gone. I think the point was, what changes? And you know the changes. They were so clear-cut with this president. Compare it to Joe Biden's 4 years. If you want inflation, if you want no jobs, if you want a malaise in this country, it's been that way with Joe Biden. Well, now we have a man of energy who's cleaning up the border. My goodness, just the crime, just that, going into these cities and getting these folks that have committed crimes in this country that shouldn't be here out. The fact that he's working so hard to get companies to have production here, this is all going to work out, but it's not going to work out right now. And if you contrast the last 4 years and the president that stood in that dais and the man that was there last night, completely different. Democrats want to sit on their hands even on these kind of things they should be proud about. For goodness sakes, that was a show that I think embarrassed them. And I would agree, I think they need to get a better decision about how they're going to behave the next 4 years, because last night was embarrassing, I thought, for them.
Neil, let's talk about, what do Democrats do now? I mean, we just said, President Trump won the popular vote. It was what a lot of Democrats are saying, in an embarrassing election for Democrats. What do they do now during this Trump presidency?
I think there is a divide and a split within the party. I think there's folks like James Carville who say that Democrats should just wait it out and that the Republicans are collapsing. I tend to agree. I think we need to lean into a working class message, one that actually does talk about benefits for middle class folks. Donald Trump, he wants to give away a huge tax break to the 1% again, a part of our country that has done exceedingly well in the last decade, where the middle class has, the lower class has not. And so I think as Democrats, they really need to lean into a working class message, one that bolsters unions, one that says we should have health care as a right for everybody in this country. There's a lot of things that the United States doesn't provide that our allies in Europe are able to provide for all of their people. We pay far more in health care than the rest of the world, but our outcomes rank in the 30s. Out of all nations. And so, all of this stuff adds up, and I think the Democrats are going to have an opportunity to rebrand in a more pro-working class messaging. It's just too bad with Citizens United that both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party have really sold out to the highest bidder. And we saw one of the bidders last night, really happy with his investment, Elon Musk.
All right, Neil, Kathy, we are out of time. Thank you both so much for coming in this morning.